3 law firms on retainer. I don't know how much money is coming in, but I know that a lot of money is going out every single month for Diddy.
Manipulate what's going on with the people who are bickering and fighting. I just gave you a music example.
Shakur wasn't a casualty of chaos. He was a result of a sanctioned hit, greenlit far above the street level. For decades, the East-West narrative served as a convenient burial ground for the truth, until the shooter's sudden reversal cracked the story open. Now, the man who once claimed responsibility for arranging the 1996 ambush says he was paid to sell a lie, and the mogul he accused of financing the murder currently sits in federal detention, charged with crimes that follow the same cold, calculated blueprint. Court records from 2008 reference $1 million price discussed openly in a Hollywood deli. A memoir published in 2019 repeats the allegation almost word for word. Then comes a 2024 prison interview. Everything flips. The confession becomes a fabrication. The gunman died in 1998. The alleged architect of the hit is finally headed to trial this February. Meanwhile, the only individual ever formally charged in the case has just been sentenced to 16 to 40 months for...
The man put a lot of out there himself. So whether it's true or it's a lie, he got to answer for that. And whatever his explanation is, we're going to see. But he said
the jailhouse assault. Yet prosecutors are still leaning on statements he now says were manufactured. None of it aligns. A gang figure retracts a murder confession the same week his accuser is locked up on trafficking charges. And the lone witness capable of connecting every thread is sitting in a cell waiting to find out whether he'll live long enough to testify. This was never about vendettas or rap rivalries. It's about a machinery that removes liabilities before they reach the stand. The next leak won't just whisper accusations. It will expose who's still orchestrating the moves and how deep the control really goes. The gunman has been buried for decades. The person who financed the shot is still choosing who's allowed to speak. That's the murmur circulating through Las Vegas right now, where the sole individual ever charged in the 1996 killing of Tupac Shakur sits behind bars, insisting his own confession was engineered. Dwayne Davis, better known as Kef D, spent years publicly placing himself inside the white Cadillac that crept alongside Suge Knight's dark BMW that September night. He walked reporters through every detail. The handgun hidden in the console, his nephew leaning out of the rear window, the burst of bullets that tore into Shakur. Law enforcement notes from 2008 reflect the same account. A memoir released in 2019 echoed it again. A BET documentary aired his story without interruption. Then, abruptly, everything reversed. In 2024, Davis disavowed it all. The admissions he now claimed...
They don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make up their brand. That's why a lot of those rappers
were fiction. He says he was compensated to repeat them. The real question isn't whether Davis is lying now or then. The question is who stands to lose the most if the truth survives long enough to surface. This is where the narrative fractures. Authorities have long framed the shooting as spontaneous gang vengeance. Earlier that evening, Shakur had assaulted Orlando Anderson in the MGM Grand. Anderson's associates, members of the Southside Crips, allegedly seized the moment. End of story, except the numbers don't balance. Anderson was killed in 1998. Davis became the last living figure who could allegedly play Sean Combs, then operating as Puff Daddy inside a private discussion where the killing was...
He said it was, according to him, he said it was security that accepted money, participated in it, and it was so-called homies.
Supposedly approved. Fast forward to now. Combs is being held in federal custody following his July conviction on transportation-related charges. And suddenly, the one man capable of tying his name to Shakur's murder retracts everything. Sources close to the situation say the shift began once high-level legal pressure entered the picture. Others say the intimidation came from further up the chain. What can't be ignored is the timing. The testimony evaporates just as it becomes most dangerous. For nearly 3 decades, this case stayed frozen. And now, the only person who could thaw it is changing his story. While the people with the most to gain remain untouched, the price was allegedly set at $1 million. That's the figure Kef D gave LAPD investigators back in 2008, during a recorded sit-down tied to an immunity agreement in a separate case. According to his account, the offer was made inside Greenblatt's Delicatessen in West Hollywood, where Sean Combs supposedly outlined a blunt directive: remove Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur, no conditions, no loose ends. Kef D claimed the payout structure was clear. Half delivered immediately, the remainder once the job was done. But that payment never materialized, not in the aftermath of the shooting, not after Shakur died 6 days later, not even when Kef D began cooperating with law enforcement. What followed instead...
That boy life is dangerous. His life isn't, and he's just not dangerous with the they said he was doing, but he's in danger. He know too much.
Was complete radio silence. Now, with Combs confronting his own legal collapse, the sudden reversal of Kef D's story feels less like regret and more like renegotiation. Defense filings now argue the prosecution's case is built almost entirely on statements that lack independent verification. But that's not the real issue. The real issue is power. Because the question isn't whether Kef D is telling the truth today or whether he was back then. It's who has enough leverage to force a man to erase his own confession when the stakes finally turn lethal.
Keith D said he told Rat James that, look, it's big money in this. Only thing Puffy want to do is pay $1 million to have both of them. He told me that.
If you want this shortened, sharpened for narration, or cut into a teaser hook, say the format and I'll slice it clean. Then there's the car. For people inside it that night, Kef D riding shotgun, his nephew Orlando Anderson in the rear seat, another associate, DeAndre Smith, and Terrence Brown behind the wheel. Brown is gone. Smith is gone. Orlando was executed in 1998 with shot to the head. That leaves Kef D as the sole survivor and the only one who's rewritten his version of events. In his 2019 book Compton Street Legend, he reconstructed the night almost frame by frame. The sudden U-turn on Flamingo, the red light with a Cadillac idled next to Suge Knight's BMW, the moment Shakur allegedly reached toward his own weapon just before gunfire shattered the silence. The details were precise, confident, unflinching. But one line from that book has started to echo differently with time. Real gangsters are not to be played with. Readers say it never sounded like bravado. It read like a caution. So when Kef D now claims the entire account was fiction, the specifics don't lose their weight. They become more dangerous. Because retracting a story doesn't erase it. It only signals that someone doesn't want it spoken under oath. The real issue isn't what Kef D is saying today. It's what he's carefully leaving out. His 2024 interview from inside prison, where he alleges he was paid to lie, never identifies who funded the story.